Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, Jake, the one-man band is back again, and welcome to another edition of RWBY Feedback. RWBY Feedback, the videos where I go and I give feedback on your guys' comments on a previous video that I have done. Now, this one about episode 4, my episode 4 review. Some feedback on it. Let's get to it. First off, gonna talk about the caterpillar sword scene from episode 4, volume 3. Now, I know I glazed over that in my review, and I apologize for that. There's no reason, there's no good reason or explanation why I didn't talk about it in the review, so let's just get over it and move on and talk about it now. So the scene in question is the scene where Weiss and Winter have just left the gardens of Beacon, and it shows the caterpillar, and it is crawling towards a sword, a small little sword created of aura, and it's kind of stuck on it until the sword disappears and it's able to move on. Now, what does this scene exactly mean? Well, first off, let's take a look at the sword. Now, a lot of you people already pointed this out, and upon watching it again, I see it too, that sword is identical to the giant sword that the giant suit of armor golem wielded in the white trailer. So as we know, this confirms that Weiss indeed fought that suit of armor. It was not a figment of her imagination. It wasn't some form of symbolism of her father striking her, giving her the scar in any way. She actually fought that behemoth, and she defeated it. And now, since we know about the glyph summoning, we know that Schnees are able to summon up enemies that they have defeated in the past. But I believe they can't summon all of them. It's only specific ones that they can summon. Because if we look back in the white trailer, before Weiss deals her killing blow to the suit of armor, we see that her rapier, its dust crystals go completely white, and we see white aura all along the blade. And then when she strikes it, yes, it indeed dies, but it then evaporates. It disappears into nothingness. Now, you would think that something of that size would stay behind. It would die, and its body would just remain there. But, you see, when she activated that last attack, when her sword turned white, she activated the first part of the summoning glyph. She activated it so that the next blow she dealt would be the killing blow, and the blow that sealed the contract that would make that foe summonable. Weiss has perfected the contract portion of the summoning glyph, but she hasn't perfected the actual re-summoning. So, when she was trying, she was not able to do it fully, but she was able to do it just a little bit to make the sword of the suit of armor golem appear. And now we come to the caterpillar. What does the caterpillar represent? Caterpillar represents pretty much the first stage in the insect's lifespan. Much like Weiss is going to grow as a huntress, she's going to go through metamorphosizing stages, much like the caterpillar. There's going to be a pupa stage, there's going to be a cocoon stage, and then Weiss will emerge a beautiful butterfly able to summon any creature, any enemy that she has defeated in the past using the summoning glyph. And there's my thoughts about that last scene. I hope it was worth it. So let's get on to some other comments, shall we? You didn't cover the angle of Yatsu being the White Fang leader, since we heard his voice now. Now, I'm assuming that you mean Yatsuhashi being the White Fang lieutenant from Volume 2. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. Yes, indeed, have already covered that specific idea. It was in a previous video that I did. It was probably about maybe 4-5 months ago, where I compare contrast Yatsuhashi from Volume 2 and the White Fang Lieutenant and kind of give my opinion on how I think that they're either alike or different. Now, me personally, they're not the same person. And it is confirmed later on in the credits of Volume 3, Episode 4, the one that Yatsuhashi actually speaks, the two characters, Yatsuhashi and the White Fang Lieutenant, have different voice actors. Now, I know that that doesn't particularly mean a thing in the sense that, oh, well, it could be just more convenient, you know, covering up his tracks and stuff like that. But no, come on, guys, just let it go. Yatsuhashi, he isn't a bad guy. Just let it go. Where's Blake at? Here, kitty kitty. I got catnip for you. No, stay back! Okay, I know a lot of you guys put comments down that were like, well, where was Blake during this episode? You know, I didn't even see her. Well, she was there at the fight. She actually had a line. She's the one who called out to Qrow and Yatsuhashi to look out when Mercury was coming down at them. And as for the rest of the episode, she wasn't really needed. I personally liked that Blake wasn't really in this episode all that much. Because like I said before, the first 2 volumes of RWBY were kind of like, it's the Blake show! We're learning all this stuff about Blake and stuff, and it's like, what about RWBY? She's the main character. And it's like, in this episode, it was like, lots of character development for RWBY and Yang, and for Weiss, and I really like that. It's good that we are taking a break from Blake for a while. That was kind of a tongue twister. Break from Blake, break from Blake, break from Blake. I got it. I guess you can say that Qrow and Yatsuhashi were decaffeinated. On the subject of the episode, I really question Team Coffee's choice in doubles participants. Seriously, in all likelihood, these double rounds were to be close quarters fights, and they pick their least agile members. I don't get it. Now, to be honest, that actually is a good observation. I mean, these Yatsuhashi and Qrow, they do indeed bring a lot of strength and power to the team that they have created. But they didn't, I don't think they really thought all that much on, like, who they might be fighting. I mean, Qrow is devastating at range. Yatsuhashi, he is a tank. But I think having another, like someone different, someone more agile like Fox or Velvet to either back up Yatsuhashi or Qrow would have probably been a smarter choice. But once again, they probably want to keep Velvet's box weapon a secret still. I hate you, Rooster Teeth, for doing that. Disclaimer, I didn't really mean that, Rooster Teeth. I actually love you. I don't know why they didn't put Fox in there. I thought seeing Fox fight would be really freaking cool. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I liked seeing Qrow and Yatsuhashi in action because I was honestly the most curious about those two out of Team Coffee. Winter previously states that how long she's staying is classified, and her mission was as well. However, that doesn't make any sense. She has no mission, so either she's facing her sister or lying and is staying in secret. Now, when we think about it that way, it's like, she did indeed say that her reasons for being at Beacon were classified. But then in the very next episode, she just happens to tell Weiss why she was there and that she's leaving? Yeah, obviously, Winter's explanation to Weiss was a bit of a cop-out, just to get Weiss off her trail, just like so Weiss wouldn't try to cling to Winter the whole time Winter was there. Winter's investigation may be a little bit more secretive than we think. I just hope that we get to see Winter in the next episode, because I'm in love with Winter. She is amazing. What Mercury did was insane, and that makes me all the more curious on who his inspiration is. Did they already say? Until I know, I'm going to assume it's Marvel's Quicksilver. Now, Mercury. Mercury is based off of the Roman god Mercury. You know, he was the messenger god who had the wings on his sandals or boots, and he would fly around. And what was his Greek god name? Man, I can't remember. But that's what his inspiration is. Not Quicksilver from Marvel. I actually kind of like the idea of Qrow and Yang's relationship has gotten a bit rocky, since it does make a bit of sense. But depending on what we go on, maybe Qrow didn't like how Yang got over his sister's disappearance so fast, since RWBY and Yang are only 2 years apart. Minus the 9 months RWBY being in her mommy's tummy, that's only a little over a year. But Summer and Yang were expecting little silver eyes. I like that, that's cute. Little silver eyes! I'm not saying he wanted Yang to suffer, but for him to get over something like that so quickly and move on onto someone they both worked with closely, I'd be a bit upset too. Or it could stem from the whole Qrow is RWBY's dad theory. You know, that does make a lot of sense since Qrow and Raven are brother and sister, you know, since they have the same last name. The whole idea that Yang would get over Raven's leaving so fast, you know, that could have left a bad taste in Qrow's mouth. So that may be the birth to some form of animosity between the two. So I like that idea. You kind of broadened the horizons of that theory a lot. Walt Disney said keep moving forward too. Well, Walt Disney and Monty Oum, great minds think alike, don't they? I believe that the white orbs that Mercury used came from some sort of gun on his boots/legs, because you can see white ammunition on them. Yes, I actually noticed that after I uploaded the review, is that when he was spinning around, the guns on his boots were discharging, and that's what was creating the air pockets. So his boot weapons, his boot guns, can create air pockets somehow. Yay! I believe Mercury will advance, so Mercury will be the one out of the doubles team to advance. I guess I could see that, him advancing. He's probably the strongest of the two, fighting-wise. So will Pyrrha, sorry if I spelled wrong, and Nora. So, yeah, Pyrrha and Nora going in as doubles. I guess I can see that. Both of them are very good and they work well together. Then Pyrrha will advance to fight Mercury and lose. Why would she lose? She was pretty much kicking his butt when they fought in Volume 2. I mean, unless his boots are now not made of metal. But who knows? He probably has another trick up his sleeve, because they're freaking cheaters! If it is 1-versus-1 battle, she probably could get killed to prove a point. I also think Yang is... Oh no, what is this? What is this comment? What is this? I also think Yang is Jean's mom? How does that make any sense? How? No, just... You had me going there! You did! Why? I also think Yang is Jean's mom. It could be that Raven is his mom, but I don't think so. The only advice I have to support this is that they both say friends are strangers that you haven't met yet. They said this in the second and third episode. They didn't talk to each other much before. Jean can be from the future. Stop bringing time travel into RWBY. Please stop. Please! I do not want time travel in RWBY. Please. Also, the whole idea that Jean, Raven, or Yang is Jean's mom, no, does not make sense. Jean has 7 sisters. He has stated that. He was with his mom before going to Beacon, and just, no. I'm sorry, Sonic Flame creator. No. People give Team Coffee a little too much credit. Way too much credit. Just because they are second years. The argument is they killed all those Grimm in Volume 2. So did Ruby's dog. We still know very little about Mercury and Emerald other than the fact that they are very good skilled fighters. Good enough to hang around to be close enough to Cinder compared to the other grunts she talks down to. They're not students, people keep forgetting that. For all they know, they have graduate level skill. This is true, we're not sure what Mercury and Emerald's ages are or their level of skill. I blame anime aging for that. And as for Team Coffee, we do know that they were devastating against the Grimm in Volume 2, but fighting the Grimm and fighting humans are totally different in my eye. I mean, Grimm are pretty much mindless beasts, and humans, you know, they can adapt. They have an aura as well. So, thinking that Team Coffee was gonna win just due to their fight against the Grimm alone was probably narrow-minded. But once again, we still don't know what Emerald and frickin' Mercury's. They irk me so much because I know so little about them. I don't like what I can't control. In regards to Neo, I believe there's an image out there from the forest scene of a very Neo-like blur. I actually went back and looked at that, and it's actually an Emerald-like blur. Like, I went by it frame by frame, and it's a very Emerald-like blur. Alternatively, Emerald's semblance is shape-shifting. No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, like, how? How would she work with that? Like, she shapeshifted into Yatsuhashi? Is that what you're suggesting? Because I don't think that would work. I mean, she's like this, and he's like this. You can't see my hands because they're off the screen, but it's like, just shapeshifting is very, very difficult to gauge as like a power of semblance. So I'm just gonna say not very likely. That amount of force is child's play for Aura. Yatsuhashi's sword is probably around 250 pounds, depending on the metal. So he's probably coming down with about 1 or 2 tons of force. Yeah, Yang took about 1,400 tons of force when she got punched through a concrete pillar. That's no bullshit on that one. Okay, I'll give you that, but Yang had her semblance going for her there. And besides, her entire body was hitting the pillar. Mercury stopped the blade with his feet. I don't know. I just can't accept that. But I did see that a lot of you people actually called out bullshit on Mercury's blockage of that. You called out bullshit on that, so thanks for agreeing with me. And thank you to JM Gunn for bringing in this new development. Didn't anyone notice that he typed beacon wrong in this video? It is true that I typed beacon as bacon at one point in the video. I apologize about that. And a lot of you people were making jokes about Weiss's father not wanting her to go to Bacon Academy. Well, here's a joke for you guys. He doesn't want her to go to Bacon Academy. Maybe they're Jewish. That was a terrible joke, I'm sorry. Oh my god, guys, could John have a hereditary semblance? Yeah, but that doesn't really give information of what his semblance would be. Yang's reaction was from losing the game. Yes, upon looking back at that scene, the scene I'm talking about is the one where Yang got mad at Qrow once he was done talking about his, last mission story, and in the review, I was like, was he mad because she took offense about the miniskirt thing, or was she mad because he totally derailed the story? But upon looking back, I'm pretty sure she was mad because, he won the match that they were playing. And it's like he was barely even paying attention to the match. Qrow's just way better at video games than the girls. Cause he's like OG video gamer. He was playing a Super Nintendo before they were even born. Crackpot theory. Mercury is a type of cyborg created by Ironwood and Atlas, like Penny. But went rogue and was forced by Cinder to join the Chaos Syndicates as a type of revenge thing. The moment you see said cybernetics, this instantly clicked in my mind. Now, this is indeed a great crackpot theory, and I've seen other people's comments that have been talking about, like, oh, well, he was like an android, or he was a cyborg, or he was up there in Atlas being worked on by something. And a lot of people saying, like, he was a predecessor to Penny and stuff. But, here's my rebuttal. So, Penny, we know, she says that she is the first robot to generate an aura. Now, that just may be that she is the first due to her knowledge, but it's the only knowledge that we have, so we can only perceive it to be true. The fact that this theory says that Mercury was created before her, that kind of totally destroys the theory, because Mercury, he has an aura. We know this because if you look on the scoreboards where it shows people's aura levels, we see that he actually has one. Now, I know you could say, like, oh, but they're faking it, stuff like that, blah-de blue. I say, no, come on, stop digging in way too deep. That's my job. And the whole idea of him being a total cyborg, I think, is a little too far-fetched. But the idea of him having cyborg legs, I think, is possible. But great job on the crackpot theory, and all those theories that are like, oh, well, he's a predecessor to Penny and stuff like that. I think that is good that you guys are kind of thinking along those lines, because that means that you think him blocking that blow is complete bullshit, and you're agreeing with me. If his legs were robotics, his legs meaning Mercury's legs, it explains how Pyrrha had control over his legs in the mock battle in class last season. Also explaining how he knew about her polarity semblance. Yeah, that kind of does make sense, but he does state in the episode that she touched his boots. But the whole idea that he was able to discern, oh, well, she has power over polarity, that's a pretty large leap that he made. So maybe we do have something going on here, guys, that he has robotic legs, and he may have just said boots because they didn't want to give away too much information yet. At 16 seconds, I ship it. Stop it.
Stop it.
Okay, Jake, you're invoking my nerd rage. They are not sickles, they are comma. And Kusarigama when in chain form. Well, I wouldn't want to invoke your nerd rage, man. Nerd rage, that's one step below Super Saiyan. That is the last thing I want to do. So they are comma. So that's why you say keep moving forward in your intro. Technically, it's my outro, but yes, indeed, I say keep moving forward in my outros because of Monty Ulm. That is why I say it. So there you go. You hear that, fan artist? Jake wants a fan art of Penny and Android 16. Get on it, stat! I would like that, actually, if somebody would take the time to make that, because I'm not artistically inclined at all. I really would like that. We also know that there is a chicken in the RWBY universe because some Yang using chicken in the food fight.
Yay, turkey!
It's turkey, actually. It was turkey. Alrighty, guys, I think that's going to end this feedback video. There is a lot of freaking comments on this review, but a lot of them, like I said, they were like, a lot of you guys like kind of say along the lines of the same things, and once again, if I took the time to read every single one, I'd be here forever. And you guys, I know you guys have amazing and wonderful lives to live out, so I'm gonna try to keep these feedback videos sort of like as to the point as possible, and that way maybe I can fit in more comments or just whatever. It's going to be a rocky process, these videos, but I like it that you guys are enjoying these videos, and I like making them, giving feedback from the comments, because this kind of makes me connected to you guys a little bit more. So I won't keep you any longer. Be sure to like and favorite if you've enjoyed. Subscribe, of course, if you feel inclined to. And check out some other videos that I've done. I do a lot of them. And I'll see you guys out there in YouTube land next time. Be a good person. Tip your waitresses. Keep moving forward. I'll see you then. Yeah.